It's been a roller coaster of a season for the CUC women's basketball team. They started the season 2-8, but were able to go into CIT on a 3-game win streak. However, the biggest problem for this young team has been facing and finishing games in the end. After losing a close one on Saturday in the Rivalry Cup against Dominican Stars, the Cougars now face the red-hot Eagles of Benedictine, who ride into Geisman on a 14-game winning streak. Undefeated in conference, the Eagles have already hold a share of the NAC regular season title and the number 1 seed in the tournament. But can the Cougars, led by Tara Hastings, Charisma Robinson, and Annika Ray, slow down the Flying Eagles? We shall see. Welcome to Geisman Gymnasium for the final home game of the 2019-2020 season. I'm Carter Gledhill, alongside my partner Adam Gray. Adam, it's been a wild season in the second year under Coach Martin. A lot of expectations were coming into the season for the Cougars. How do you think they've lived up to that?
Definitely progressing through each game throughout the season. You definitely see a growth. There's a lot of underclassmen on this team, and I know also her being in her second season, just trying to grow this group together and just continue to trend in the right direction. I think this game proves it with BenU being top in the conference. That's definitely one of the biggest things that they can do. And I know Coach Kohler talked about it a little bit yesterday about the guys team, and the question was, what are you looking for in that team as the last game of the season? He just talked about progression, and it doesn't end just because you're going into the last game of the season, you're a senior, whatever it may be. Just keep continuing to improve, and this is a big test for the Cougars tonight.
Cougars were able to pick up a win last night in their home finale against Marion, and you mentioned it and you alluded to it. That is a very young team. About 65% of their points have come from their freshmen, and one of those freshmen being the star in Tara Hastings.
Yeah, I know. She's been incredible this season. I mean, just looking at the numbers itself, she's averaging 13 points a game. I mean, that's just incredible all around. And even Charisma Robinson is another young player. She's leading the NAC in steals per game, and steals at 64, which is incredible.
Tara Hastings is 8th in the NAC in points per game. She had a tremendous game against Benedictine the last time these two faced, as she had 18 points, and Bailey Steinkamp, again, another electric guard. And you mentioned Charisma Robinson, 3rd in the NAC in steals per game. But let's get over to the other side and the visiting Benedictine Eagles. This team has been high-flying. And under Coach Averkamp, he has 16 wins in all 4 of his seasons at the helm of the Eagles program. And these Eagles show no signs of slowing down.
Yeah, they're red hot right now. Like you said earlier, 14-game win streak. I mean, and that's definitely led by Allison Michalski with 15 points a game, and then Alex Fanning averaging 12 and 12, which is really something incredible just to do in general. 12 and 12, averaging a double-double is something that is not easy, especially when it comes to basketball and being down low like that. 6'2" definitely helps also.
Yeah, 6'2" height in this game especially is a key for any team. Michalski finished the game against Concordia in their last time with 10 points and 5 rebounds. But it was in the game in December, CUC was able to hang around with the Eagles, but the Eagles were able to pull away in the 4th, winning 76-56. We're about ready to go in Geisman. We're going to get you the national anthem and the starting lineups from PA Jim Egan. You're listening to the Cougar Sports Network for the season finale of women's basketball here at Concordia.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask all who are able to please rise. Gentlemen, kindly remove your hats as we honor America, the men and women of our military and our first responders with the play of our national anthem.
And there you have it, the starters for both teams tonight in the last home game from Geisman of the 2019-2020 season. Give you a little recap on the side of the Eagles. Number 2, Alex Fanning. Number 5, Hannah Pyro. Number 12, Claire Gibler. Number 21, Brittany Pitzer. And the 5'11 forward, the junior, who's been an absolute beast to be reckoned with, 32, Allison Michalski. On the Cougars side, number 1, Charisma Robinson. Number 2, Tara Hastings. Number 3, Anna Correa, who's playing her final game in Geisman tonight. Number 13, Bailey Steinkamp. And 25, Michaela Thornton. Robinson's going to be taking the tip for the Cougars as we're getting ready for basketball in Geisman on this Wednesday night. Pyro takes the ball up top and is getting ready to start the offense. And entered in the paint is Fanning. Keep an eye on her. And back right in there, you see her right there, Michalski with the first basket for the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, she's just going to work down low. There just has to be – we have to get big down there. Definitely there's going to be a height advantage down low, and we just got to take advantage and help double team for sure.
Cougars having a rough time of always starting off the game in a hot streak. Looking to change that, though, as this is a game where they could be spoilers against the Eagles as Robinson goes strong into the lane and her basket's just off. Pushing tempo up the court is the sophomore Pyro. He finds it in there, and Pachalski gets tipped away. And Steinkamp now getting ready to go up court. Nobody's touching her, and she finds her way to the corner and looking for some help. Tipped away, and Thornton is able to corral the ball. Swings it out to Ray for 3. Just off the mark. Rebounded there by Pitzer. She's pushing tempo, and up there is another big man, Michalski. She's off to a quick start with 4 points.
I mean, yeah, she's just running the court in that situation. We just have to be able to make sure we get back on defense. And I think that previous possession on defense is really where it starts, is making sure she doesn't set up down low. That's the biggest thing.
Cougars offense has tailed off as of late this season, ranked 7th in the NAC. They're shooting 34% from the field. And what was once their strength in the three-point is now a weakness as they're in the 7th with the three-point. But Steinkamp able to get into the lane there and is get a foul called on the Eagles.
I mean, you hit it right on the head. 3-point percentage, 29%. Definitely has to raise that up a little bit.
Foul was called on Claire Gibler. Steinkamp, the best free throw shooter for the Cougars, stepping to the line and sinks the first one. She's been one of the top 3-point shooters in the conference, 5th in the NAC. She's really been a nice addition to this Cougars team with a lot of freshmen coming up on the coming. She sinks the second one, is able to cut the lead to half, but the Cougars are on the board. Cougars starting to apply pressure here. As you see, they're going into attack phase with their zone defense, and Steinkamp with the deflection. Robinson pushing tempo up court. Meets 2 Eagle defenders, but finds Tara in the corner for 3. Just off the mark, rebounded by Michalski. One-on-one now here with Pyro as she is colliding with Hastings, and a foul is called.
But that's what you have to do. I mean, we didn't get the result we wanted on the offensive end, but that's exactly what we need to do. You can now let her set up down there. You have to poke the ball out, try and get some turnovers. And that's a well-played defensive possession right there. Just got to execute on offense.
One strength, though, the Cougars have in this game is they're a great team in forcing turnovers. They force 23 turnovers a game. That's number 1 in the NAC. And they also are ranked number 1 with 12.6 steals a game. Second free throw is good from Pyro. 6-2 in the early going here in the first quarter, 8 minutes to play. As Eagles starting off hot, Cougars struggling to get inside. As Steinkamp's correcting the offense and getting the Cougars lined up. Gets the ball screen from Robinson, who pops a 3, and it is blocked out of the hands there by Claire Gibler. Going up on the left side now was Pitzer, and she swings it in to Michalski, and she is having a hot start for the Eagles. Coach Martin forced to call a timeout now as she is really dominating the Cougars.
That's probably what the timeout is definitely going to be about. Just talking about not letting her set up down low.
Tonight's crew for the broadcast you're seeing on Cougar Sports Network is brought to you by Chick-fil-A. It's a proud sponsor of Concordia University Chicago Athletics. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Chick-fil-A in Melrose Park has you covered. Chick-fil-A, eat more chicken. So, Adam, it's 8-2 right now. We've only played about 2.5 minutes in this quarter, but already Coach Martin's having to go to the whiteboard to try to find something to stop these Eagles who are explosive, and really Michalski's leading the charge. If you're Coach Martin, what are you telling your team right now?
I'm definitely telling them we gotta limit the fast break. Obviously, they've been doing pretty well with keeping Michalski from setting up down low. There's been a lot of fast break points coming from mishaps and not executing on offense. And one player that I'm really looking forward to see get going here is Michaela Thornton, number 25. She's been a huge player in the past for us. It'd be a good time for her to step up tonight.
She's been a little quiet as of late, even though Michaela Thornton's one of the top players on the team, averaging 7.7 points a game. And Robinson's shot is just a little high off the board, and Eagles are pushing it the other way. And you can see transitions is going to be one place where the Cougars need to get back on. And there again, Michalski with a little spin around and knocks it in, and she's having a great game so far. Annika Ray, as you see there, got a face mask on. She had a face injury and broke part of her nose, so she's been wearing that LeBron James kind of face mask, looking for a big game in her series career finale here in Geisman. Steinkamp, a nice crossover, finds an open lane and gets the Cougars' first field goal.
It's a good move by Bailey. I love the hesitation and drive down low.
2K move there from Steinkamp, able to get the Cougars on the board. And a little baseline move there by Pitzer into the corner, now entering in for Fanning, who swings it over now, and it re-entered. Well, we got 3 seconds in the lane called. And the first substitution of the game is going to be for the Cougars, as you see senior Crystal Core coming in for Annika Ray.
Like I said, that's exactly what we need to do. It was a good possession by the Cougars, obviously getting that 3-second call. All she's trying to do is set up down low. Michalski just trying to set up down low and just trying to keep her out of there is the biggest key tonight.
Cougars only made one of their last 6 field goal attempts. The shooting struggles seem to come aware now because Steinkamp got the first one just seconds ago. Shot clock winding down. Core gets the ball at the elbow, looks to go in, charging. Just a little bit too hard, and it rims off.
A lot of good looks by the Cougars. We're just not able to execute on the offensive end.
Pyro, the sophomore guard, controlling the offense and swings it now in there. Great no-look pass there by Fanning to find Michalski in there, and Michalski already has 10 points.
You'd like to see them try and get the ball inside. I know it's a little difficult with the height advantage and the strength down low, but drops a couple of plays.
Steinkamp's shot's way off the mark, and Eagles are pushing tempo as the Cougars are off some transition, and a foul is called on Tara Hastings, and that's huge because that's her second already.
Yeah, she's got to be careful. Getting into foul trouble this early into the game is something you definitely not want to see out of one of your best players.
Checking in now for the Cougars and replacing Hastings and Steinkamp is number 20, Madeline McGrath, and number 22, Jaylene Wade, who is, if you don't know her already, a lights-out three-point shooter who can be deadly at times.
Man, you say it.
Michalski off to a hot start again with another layup, and she has 12 of the 14 Eagles points.
I like the way that Wade plays. She's just, the way she handles the ball, commands the court. It's definitely going to be exciting to see in the next couple of years. She's got a lot of potential for this Cougar team.
Wade finds herself in the lane, met by 3 Eagles defenders, and look who it is around the ball with the tie-up on the jump is number 32, Allison Michalski. Adam, you mentioned it. Height is a huge factor in this game. But the two-headed beast of the Eagles, Alex Fanning is 6'2", and Allison Michalski is 5'11".
Yeah, I mean, it's 6'2" and 5'11". You can't do anything really about that. Good move.
Great in look there by Robinson to find Core streaking in, and Core is the tallest player for the Cougars right now at 5'10", the senior. And the Eagles are able to move the ball with grace around the top, and look at that open look there from Pitzer. Drives in, blocked or tipped by Thornton. Jump ball is called by the referee because it looks like nobody knows what happens. Coach Martin pleading her case to say nobody touched it. They're going to call a jump ball. Possession arrow is going to stay with the Eagles.
Kind of going back to the point of the height advantage down low, I think a lot of that, it's a way to cancel that out is definitely helping down and double teaming. Make sure they're not setting up. I know I've said that a lot, but there you go, another steal.
Charisma Robinson with another steal. She is third in the conference with steals per game. She has averages about 3 a game, and a long pass intercepted there by Pitzer. Robinson able to get a hand on it and knock it out of bounds. And the first substitution for the Eagle is going to be Alicia Dorio checking in for Alex Fanning.
She's so active on the defensive end, isn't she? She's just incredible. She's been incredible to watch. Defensively, it's almost Dennis Rodman-esque in a way.
She's a lockdown defender, and we've seen multiple times throughout the year. She's the person that will get in your head, and she will annoy you mentally and physically. Zone defense here for the Cougars as they try to eliminate the post game that is led by Allison Michalski, who has 12 points in the first quarter. Ball's a little bit off there by 12 Gibbler. Rebounded by Michalski, up and in, and she has been destroying this Cougars offense, and you could see Coach Martin is not having it tonight.
Goodness gracious. I mean, she's getting whatever she wants. I mean, it's incredible to watch. It really is. It's impressive.
Michalski is a perfect 7 of 7 from the field. And you see Megan Long is in the game now for the Cougars, and a long pass there, and the Cougars are all out of sorts here in the early going of the first.
They just need to calm down and just take a deep breath. Michalski is getting whatever she wants, but she's not unstoppable. Definitely got to lock it down on defensive end. We got Crystal Core on her now, so hopefully we'll be able to get things right. Madeline
McGrath is subbed out, and checking in is Sarah Ludwig. And you see checking in there, and you see Pyro getting a nice easy layup around it and rolls into the basket, and someone other than Michalski is on the board now. Jaylene Wade at the top of the cage. Right there, you see it over there to Michaela Thornton. Screen from Thornton for Long, who charges in and finds a bounce pass. Deflected by Core, miscommunication in a 2-on-1 situation now. Oh, and Michalski throws a little bit off, too hard off the layup right there. Rebounded there by Much and enter back into Michalski. Blocked by Core. Sarah Ludwig now pushing the tempo. And Jaylene Wade looks to set up shop at the top of the volleyball line. Swing it over to Ludwig on the right side. Bounce pass to Wade. In the restricted area, gets her own rebound after hitting it off. Ludwig in and met by a big wall. There, number 15, Alicia Dorio. And it's going the other way as a travel was called.
It was a good look. I don't know why Jaylene did not go up with that. She looked like she was open down there.
It looked like she might have been a little bit too scared of the Eagles' defense and probably wasn't in the right position.
Yes, 6'2" will do that to you.
Checking in now for the Eagles is number 3, Ashley Brown, number 22, Brianna Lake. You see taking the ball is Ashley Brown, the senior guard out of Bellwood, Illinois. In the corner there was Much. And a travel is called on the Eagles. Adam, we've been talking about Michalski's dominance so far. In her performance last in December against the Cougars, she had 10 points and 5 rebounds, now surpassing that by a much great mark and looking to be a great night with 14 points and 5 rebounds.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest things coming into the game was the height and the strength differential here. And she definitely was putting that on display with what she did in just the first quarter, let alone what she can do the rest of the game.
Turnover there by Long. Cougars now have 5 turnovers on the night and are getting out-rebounded 10-3. So as Gray alluded to, you had the height disadvantages for the Cougars, and it's not faring well in the early going as we reach the last minute 47 of the first quarter.
It also doesn't help that they've been held scoreless for the last 3 minutes and 16 seconds. That's it's not just on the defensive end. They've been holding their own. They're only down by 12 points. They just need to start executing offensively now.
Entering there is Much, and she gets tripped up and throws the ball out of bounds, but it's going to stay with the Eagles. Coach Martin not liking the call, but doesn't matter now. Is getting inbounded by Brown. Finds a backside there to Fanning. Shot clock at 9. Much in the corner, thrown away out of bounds, and it's going to the Cougars.
This is the time that the Cougars need to start executing offensively. With Michalski on the bench, they need to start to work the ball inside. I know Fanning is still down there, but now's the time to start executing for sure.
Cougars 1 of 5 in their last 5 field goal attempts, 0 of 4 from the three-point line. As Robinson looks to do some damage here. She gets the ball and swings it into Megan Long. And Wade doing some fancy dribbling there and brings it back out. Long lines up a three. Yes, ma'am.
There it is. That's what you like to see. Start getting the three ball going, as you alluded to in the beginning. That was one of their strengths earlier in the season. They just got to start to get back to that.
No look pass there from Fanning, goes high out of bounds. The Cougars get the ball with a fresh 30 on the shot clock, and we're entering the last minute of the first. Robinson deciphering the D. Pushes her way in and looks like there's a foul called. And the Cougars will get the ball on the baseline. Foul is going to go on number 31, Reggie Much from Palatine, Illinois. From Palatine High School, she gets her first personal of the game. Sarah Ludwig at the top of the key, swings it and falls down. And Megan Long gets the ball, who swings it to Robinson. Driving in on Much. High! Wrong side of the backboard, and it goes out of bounds. Looks like Much got a finger on it.
It would be good to see the Cougars move the ball a little bit more. I feel like they're rushing their shots on this. Obviously, they got 10 seconds on the shot clock here.
Core drives herself in the lane, and Fanning says, not today. 6 seconds on the shot clock, 37 seconds remain in the game, in the quarter. Cougars have been struggling on offense throughout this whole quarter. As you see Long finding Core right behind the free throw line, and yes, knocks it in. And the Cougars are starting to find a rhythm on their 5-0 run in the last going of the first. Robinson applying the pressure, and Core helping her out. Entry pass in there. Much finding her way into the lane, a little bit too much. Megan Long pushing tempo. No shot clock now as 14 seconds left during the game. Long going coast down, finds Robinson by the NCAA logo. Wade pulls a three, a little high, and gets back down. Brown looking to push tempo here. 1 second left, throws up a shot, and a foul is called. And it looks like Megan Long is guilty of charge. So with no time remaining now, Ashley Brown is going to the free throw line to shoot 3 free throws.
Not an ideal foul there. She's got to be smarter on that.
She misses the first. Brown, a 50% free throw shooter on the year, so not a horrible foul. But again, as you mentioned, it's not something you want to do, especially when you just got some momentum going into the last part of that quarter. Misses the third, so only getting 1 point out of that was Ashley Brown, but a huge first quarter there from the Eagles, as it all was led by Allison Michalski with 14 points and 5 rebounds. Cougars' offensive struggles, that really was what separated these two teams in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, it's good that we're only down by 8 points, because we could have been down by a lot more. The Cougars just need to settle down, start to execute offensively, and just continue the game plan of not letting them set up down low, because that height advantage will get to them eventually, and they've been doing a good job fairly well up to this point.
Michalski, once she came out in that later part of the first, Cougars were starting to get on a run as they went on a 5-1 run in the last 3 minutes. But not a lot of quality shots going up for the Cougars, only 4-16 from the field. Well, we got the Cougars getting ready to go back in action here with the second quarter coming up. Cougars basketball is brought to you in part by Lutheran Public Radio. Listen to sacred music anytime, anywhere at LutheranPublicRadio.org or on the LPR app. Tonight's crew behind the scenes making this broadcast all possible is producer Julia Beers, camera operators Julia Spitelli, Kelly Goody, and Grace Miller. And our referees for tonight are Keena Brown, Matt Hanley, and Michael Jackson.
Wow, isn't that a name? I love it.
Not that Michael Jackson you're thinking of.
Well, one thing I would like to see the Cougars start to do is work the ball down low. It's been really hard getting the ball down low because of Alex Fanning and Michalski being down there. But I know that's one of the keys is starting to work ourselves from the inside out, because the outside ball is not falling currently.
And something interesting, too, is that Tara Hastings was sitting majority of that quarter with 2 fouls and no points. You see Crystal Core working her way through the Eagles' defense, and she knocks it down. Core now has 4 points on the night.
That's what I was just alluding to. Got to work the ball down low and then work your way out because it's more high percentage down low.
And Pitzer is there to hit a 3 for the Eagles. As they're getting going again, going into the second quarter, and Jaylene Wade setting up a play for the Cougars. Hand off to Ludwig. Over to the right side is Robinson. Clear lane in. Her layup is off the mark. And the Eagles are pushing it the other way, led by Pyro. Pyro finds the lane, and Michalski mishandles the pass to Core and finds Wade.
Seems like Charisma Robinson's having a little bit of a struggle settling into this game. 0 for 4 to start.
And that was a left-handed layup she just put up, where she had nobody. She could have gone her right hand, and that would have been nobody to touch it. And you see Jaylene Wade gets the ball now and swings it to Crystal Core, who pots a jumper and sinks it. Crystal Core now has 6 points.
This is what the Cougars need. They need somebody to step up, get the offense starting to go. Don't let them set up down low.
Shot there by Pyro, another 3. And then almost back-to-back possessions. Pyro has hit 2 threes, and the Eagles answer the Cougars' call on offense.
Hannah Pyro, 21% from the 3 this season. It's kind of surprising. Let's see if she can keep that going.
Crystal Core takes a stumble, but Long finds Robinson on the left side. Almost poked away there, but she misses another layup and rebounded by Fanning. Fanning leads the NAC in rebounds per game with about 12. That's 3 better than the next in second place. You see Pyro swiveling around, but before she's able to get the pass to Fanning, a travel is called. Substitution here is Anna Correa, who comes in for number 1, Charisma Robinson, and Robinson is looking distraught on the bench as she's consulted by Coach Martin, trying to pep her up because, as you mentioned, Robinson's off to a rough start, 0 for 5.
She just got to settle down. She's rushing into her shots and just take lead from what Crystal's been doing, taking her shots, giving what the defense is giving her.
Long gets locked down, and she's in pain on the backside of the court. Cougars are on an odd man rush and playing 5-on-4 defense as Michalski misses a shot. And now top stoppage here as you see Megan Long on the left side, all the way on the base side on the south side of the gym, is writhing in pain as it looked like her ankle got rolled up. And the training staff attends to her as well as Coach Martin. We're going to take a quick break here from Geisman. 7:29 remain in the second quarter. Cougars able to get something going offensively, but they still trail the Eagles 25-15. Welcome back inside Geisman. If you just took a pause of play for an injured player, does it look like Megan Long took a little stumble and an ankle injury on the south baseline of the gym, and she's with our training staff, and it's good to see her walking off the court.
Yeah, you hate to see injuries. I just wish that it's nothing too serious, and hopefully she'll be able to come back and be okay.
We talked about the dominance of the Eagles in this game, but a lot of that is accredited to the head coach, Charlie Avercamp. Avercamp, a graduate of Edgewood in 2009, was the first player in NAC history to score a triple-double.
Wow.
So the basketball star at Edgewood now coaching the Eagles of Benedictine, where in all 4 of his previous seasons, he has had 16 or more wins. He was also the girls' golf coach at Benedictine starting in 2017, so he does a lot there for the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive, having 16 wins, 4 seasons. That's I myself went to Benedictine, and they definitely have the right kind of culture over there. It's a winning culture. He does things the right way. Just from having conversations with him, he's an all-around good guy, and his players definitely look up to him, and he's definitely a great guy to be around. And obviously loves to win. Loves to win. Great guy.
Eagles are ranked 3rd in the first rankings of the regionals by D3Hoops.com. They only had 2 losses on the year. One of them was back in December to East Texas Baptist, where they lost 51-66. And their only other loss this year came to number 6, now ranked number 2 in the country, Hope College, which is 23-0. You see a shot there by Gibblers off the mark, rebounded, and Wade is bringing the ball up.
Let's see Jaylene Wade start to get going, too. She's one of the catalysts, I feel like. She's definitely a spark plug coming off the bench for the Cougars. Let's see if she can get going here.
Wade 0-2 from the field, 0-1 from behind the arc. As you see Steinkamp, another shifty guard there for the Cougars, swings it over to Ray. Ray, who's been coming hot lately, had 12 points in the game against Dominican last Saturday. Shot clock down. Thornton throws up a shot, airballs it, and it's another turnover for the Cougars. Cougars now have 7 turnovers on the night. Hannah Pyro brings the ball up. Native of Portage, Indiana. You see Michalski there, top of the key, backing down Annika Ray. Spins around and finds Pyro. Pyro drives into the lane, lays it up, finds the backboard, and it taps in. Jaylene Wade setting up another play. You can see Coach Martin pacing the sidelines, trying to get her Cougars back in the game, and Wade loses the ball, tips off the foot, and it looks like it's going the other way.
I haven't seen a lot of set plays called. I feel like I said earlier, they're just kind of rushing into trying to get a shot. I feel like Michalski and Fanning have them kind of flustered in a way. They're not really settling into this game, really.
Well, it looks like even if they are trying to call a set play, like you mentioned, they're getting so flustered and so anxious trying to attack the paint that they're not getting anything going. Well, obviously, coaching changes need to be coming if the Cougars want to stay in. And Pyro blows past Steinkamp, but ball is tipped out of bounds by Steinkamp as Fanning was trying to reach over the top. That's a huge height difference right there. Steinkamp's 5'8", and Fanning is 6'2".
They've been doing a good job limiting inside points ever since the first couple of minutes that Michalski went off a little bit. So if they could just execute on offense, they'll be closer in this game.
Great swing of events there for the Eagles. As you see, Pitzer was able to find Fanning streaking in after a loose ball. Michalski has been held scoreless since her domination in the first quarter, but a timeout here by the Cougars. We're going to take a quick break. 5:11 left in the second quarter. Cougars are trailing 15-29. Back inside Geisman Gymnasium. Closer far, Chicago Motor Coach has your group transportation needs covered. Chicago Motor Coach is proud to be the official transportation provider of CUC Athletics. Thornton met by a trap as newly checked in freshman Macy Klein throws a ball up and it looks like it deflected, and Pyro now streaking up the court as she has been playing a pretty good game leading the helm of the Eagles offense.
It's been a physical game. I mean, there's been a lot of loose balls and everybody diving for the ball. It's definitely been a physical game.
Pyro has 6 points, but a foul is called on Thornton as she's trying to defend the big-bodied Allison Michalski, the junior forward out of Algonquin, Illinois, who's been dominating this game with 14 points and 5 rebounds. Checking back into the game now is Tara Hastings after seeing an early depart in the first with 2 personal fouls. Layup there by Michalski's off the mark, but Fanning's there to corral it and throw it back up.
She just shows you right there why she's averaging 12 and 12. That's good positioning down low and a good putback.
Kayla Kohler also checks in, the senior captain, seeing her first action tonight for the Cougars. As the Cougars have been held scoreless for the last 4 minutes. Tara Hastings now swings at the Thornton. Thornton gets the ball poked away, but a foul is called on Fanning. Check that. Brittany Pitzer gets the foul. It's her first team's first of the quarter. Kohler takes the ball out and lobs it in to Hastings, who gets it on the left corner and finds Ray in the post. Ray almost gets it poked away, and she does from behind by Pitzer. Is corralled by Kohler. Steinkamp floats it in and knocks it in for the paint.
It's a good bucket down low by Steinkamp. Good cut, way to finish.
Steinkamp has 6 points on the game so far. As wide open as Pitzer, and she's been fire from out there. She's 3 of 4 from behind the arc.
Goodness gracious. Bailey got caught with a nasty screen. That's why she was so wide open.
Thornton gets the ball in the corner. Backing down Gibbler, throws it off the backboard and goes in. Thornton getting her first points of the night.
That's what we need to see from Michaela. She needs to start to work her way into this game. She's definitely one of the X factors in this game. Love to see that.
Gibbler getting the ball after getting guarded by Hastings. Hastings, one of the smallest players on the court and on both teams at 5'3". As a shot there by Pyro finds its way in. The shortest player between the both two teams stands on Benedictine's size, as Michaela Kimball is 4'11".
Oh, wow.
So she is listed as the smallest player on the roster. A foul is called on number 21, Brittany Pitzer, her second foul. And coming into the game now is number 31, Reggie Much. And she'll come and check in for Pitzer. Kohler takes the ball out on the far side of the baseline, and she inbounds it to Thornton. Thornton takes it in the high post, now bringing it back out to where the volleyball line sits. Hastings streaking into the lane, kicks it out for Kohler, who chucks up a three. Just a little bit too long, and she goes in for her own rebound and trips up Pyro. Ball is loose. Thornton gets the rebound, and the Cougars get a fresh 30 on the shot clock. Hastings was going to pull a shot, but it gets tipped away there by Much, and Much now has the ball, avoiding defenders, and finds it into the high post where she gets fouled by Steinkamp.
6 minutes into this game, and as you mentioned, foul trouble for Hastings, but definitely one of the biggest things she needs to start working her way into this game as well. One of the top scorers for the Cougars. It'd be good to see her get going after that early foul trouble.
She's only attempted one shot, and that was a missed three in the first quarter. And this is the freshman. He's one of the top freshmen in the conference and is 8th in the NAC in points per game. She scored 29 in the Cougars game against Concordia Ann Arbor back in January in the Concordia Invitational Tournament, and has really been struggling since, as Thornton gets it poked away by a sea of Eagles, and Much takes the ball up on the right side. Much getting a screen from Michalski. Loses it and swings it back up to the top for Pyro. Finds Fanning in the post. Swings it to Michalski. A long two. Hits the front iron and rolls off to the side.
Good box out by Annika. I love the hustle down low. That's what we need to do. Make sure that Fanning doesn't get positioning to get those rebounds.
Minute 50 left in the second quarter, as the Eagles have controlled this game from the start, leading 36-19. Steinkamp crossover in the corner. Hits Brick. Deflection out of bounds between Fanning and Thornton. Thornton got the last touch, and it's going down to the Eagles. Looking for a place to relax following a big Cougar win? Doc Ryan's on Madison Street has all your post-game needs covered. And checking into the game now is Charisma Robinson and Crystal Core for Thornton and Kohler. Hastings picking up Brown at the top of the key. And Steinkamp pokes it away. It's a three-run Cougars, and Steinkamp lays it in. And Steinkamp now has 8 points on the night, and a timeout is taken by Charlie Averkamp and the Benedictine Eagles. 30-second timeout, so we're going to keep it here. But Adam, it seems that the Cougars are doing too much too late, as it's really been the last 2 minutes of each quarter where they started to come on.
Yeah, I mean, and that last defensive possession is exactly what needs to happen. They need to not let her set up, poke the ball out, and run in transition. And obviously with Charisma Robinson going 0 for 5, a lot of those being open layups, really. Just got to continue to work the ball inside and finish. That's one of the biggest things that they need to start working on is being able to finish near the rim when they get the opportunity to.
Steinkamp and Core are leading the Cougars team with 8 points each. Michalski has 14 points for the Eagles, a game high, but has not scored since the first quarter. Fanning in, and now Much from the assist from Fanning. Another point there for the Eagles as Much gets on the board.
That was a great cut by Much. The back cut was wide open. Cougars were busy guarding Fanning and Michalski at the top.
Core gets her ball poked away. And it seems like the Cougars have been going for the lane all the time because their shooting hasn't been wild, but the Eagles have been poking everything away.
Yeah, it's been a tough go of it down low. I mean, it doesn't help that you're not able to hit the outside perimeter shots because they're able to sit down low and know you're not going to hit those shots. So until they start doing so, they're going to sit on all of those.
Michalski, her shot's off the mark, rebound by Pyro. She'll get the pass from Pyro, and Steinkamp almost pokes it away, but Pyro finds Brown, swings up to Much, and Much hits a three.
You see how much attention that Michalski and Fanning are bringing. That's why they're getting all these open shots.
Robinson forcing a double hop there, and Much strips it away.
Wow.
As we reach the last 20 seconds of the quarter, as Pyro gets the ball, lines up a three off the mark. Robinson pushing tempo, 3 Eagles defenders around her, spins around, looking to get the last shot as Annika Ray pulls out, step back 3 off the mark. Scuffle for the ball there as Pyro pulls away with 3 seconds now. 2-on-1, passes it up, Michalski, and she finishes it as the Cougars struggle defensively, and the Eagles are able to get a last-second buzzer in the end of the second quarter and go into halftime with a 22-point lead. Adam, not the way you want to go into the locker room if you're the Cougars after going down a lot in the beginning, but now you just give up that last second. It seems that they're out of sorts and playing a really sloppy game here.
Yeah, that last bucket is literally the epitome of the first half here. Michalski just doing all of the work for the Eagles at this point, having 16 points, Pritzker at 9 points. I mean, but now is not the time to panic. The coaches got to go in there, reassure them that now is not the time to panic. You still have 20 minutes of game left to play. You just have to execute offensively and continue to work on Michalski and Fanning. Don't let them set up and continue just to work. Now is not the time to panic, and Cougars, while they're down, they'll be able to pull it out.
Halftime here in Geisman in the last game of the season at home for the Cougars, and it's shaping to be a tough one here, but Coach Martin looking to make some adjustment at halftime as the Cougars trail the Eagles 43-21. We'll bring you second half basketball in a few. This is the Cougar Sports Network. Welcome back inside Geisman Gymnasium as the Cougars are ready to close out their last home game here for the 2019-2020 season. Alongside me, my partner, Adam Gray. Adam, it's not what the Cougars were expecting, but give credit to the Eagles because they are ranked in the region and they're the number 1 seed in the NAC right now.
Yeah, they're definitely playing like the number 1 team, and it's incredible to watch the way that they play. They move the ball so well. They're getting the ball inside, and Michalski was unstoppable until the coach took her out. And I think if I read it correctly, her first bucket was that last buzzer beater since 4:09 in the first quarter. So, I mean, they were able to hold her in check, mainly because she was on the bench, but also not really allowing her to set up after that first 5 minutes.
It really just seemed like in that first quarter, the Eagles were just feeding Michalski in the middle of the paint. And even like you mentioned it, even though the last bucket you had before halftime, she has 16 points on the night, 5 rebounds, and a block. She's having a great game right now, seeing she only had 10 points the last time the Cougars played. We're going over to the Cougars side now. Really not a very good half at all. They only had 9 made field goals in that, 1 of 8 from behind the arc. And how about this? Kara Hastings has no points.
Yeah, if you told me that in the beginning of the game, I would think you're crazy. She averages 13.5 points a game, held in check the whole game. Granted, she got in foul trouble the first couple of minutes, but yeah, you don't face the number 1 team in the NAC and not expect to have your best player locked down like that.
Cougars only have made 5 layups as they've been able to get into the lane, but a problem has been finishing. They have missed, I would say, about 8. But in all totalness, Charisma Robinson's been struggling the most there. She has not even recorded a basket yet. She is 0 of 5 with 2 rebounds, and that's another key factor for the Cougars if they want to get going. But it's good to see Megan Long right now is running around the court after she exited the game with an ankle injury, but she looks happy. She got a smile on her face, and she was running up and down the court looking good. Cougars looking to hit the reset button after a half they hope to forget because it was not a pretty sight by any means. Eagles were able to end the first half shooting 58%, Cougars 31%. And they were able to, Eagles were 4 from 6 from behind the arc. Big credit to Pitzer there, who was 3 of 4. As she went on a stretch there where she was just knocking them down.
I mean, and another look at this, too, is the rebound differential. The Cougars have 11 to the Eagles' 22. Fanning and Michalski have the same amount of rebounds the Cougars do just between those two alone. And, I mean, that's one of the biggest keys is we talked about coming into the game was the size and the strength down low. Rebounding is definitely going to have to be something that changes because that's opportunities given and taken.
Alex Fanning, the 6'2 sophomore out of Elmwood Park, she leads the NAC in rebounds per game. She averages about 12 a game. And you see now the Eagles start the quarter. As you see Pitzer there, swinging it over to Pyro, back to Pitzer. Going a little give and take. Into the corner there is Pyro, and she knocks down her She knocks down her second 3 of the night.
The Eagles are shooting it at a 71% clip from out there. They're lighting us up from the 3.
So on the court for the Cougars, Steinkamp, Hastings, Ray, Robinson, and Thornton. For the Eagles, number 12, Claire Gibler, Fanning. No Michalski out there, though. Hastings, walkward shot there. Michalski actually out there. Miscue on the numbers. You see Fanning swings it over to Pitzer, who swings it back to Pyro, entering to Fanning in the post. Massive swing over to Gibler. She drives in, 2 steps it, lays it up a little bit far up, but Fanning corrals it over Ray, and she puts it in.
The positioning, I love the way that Fanning plays. Her positioning, she's so smart. It's almost as if she knows where the ball's going as soon as the shot is put up.
I would think if you're 6'2 and you know how to rebound, it's something you develop over time. And she's been a force with 7 rebounds tonight. As Annika Ray, in her last game in Geisman, passes it to Hastings. Hastings off the mark again. She's now 0 for 3 from the field. But Charisma Robinson able to get it going there. Her first points of the night.
Fantastic rebound by Charisma. That's more of what we need. We need her to start to work her way into this game, find her layups, and be able to execute.
Robinson, the leading rebounder for the Cougars, as a three is chucked up by Gibbler, and she knocks it down. 51-23 in the early part of the second half, as the Cougars are 1 of 8 from behind the arc. Not that same struggle for the Eagles, as they're 6 of 8 in the game. Robinson, spin away, jumper, airballs it. Michalski finds it, and she dribbles it up the court, crosses it. Robinson showing frustration. You see there, Gibbler, another three, a little bit long. Rebound, Michalski. Rebounds it, tosses it in for Fanning, who finds it over Steinkamp, and that duo is working it tonight for the Eagles.
Goodness gracious. I mean, whether it's the three, whether it is down low, they're getting whatever they would like.
You say they're really controlling the paint, as 30 of the 53 points from the Eagles have been in the paint. Timeout called by the Cougars, and Lauren Martin trying to figure out what's going on. It's 30-second timeout here in Geisman. Fans, Chick-fil-A is a proud sponsor of Concordia University Chicago Athletics. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Chick-fil-A in Melrose Park has you covered. Chick-fil-A, eat more chicken. Adam, already a quick start here for the Eagles in the third quarter. 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 3 from behind the arc. And it looks like they're getting the duo again going with Michalski and Fanning. But how about Hannah Pyro, who is now starting to heat up too?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at how she's performing, it's incredible. As I mentioned before, she was 21% coming into this game, and she is absolutely lighting it up from the three. It's great to see how they move the ball.
As that jumper floats in from Jaylene Wade. Full court press now for the Cougars as you get in there. And the ball is taken up by Pitzer. Brittany Pitzer, a guard out of Dixon, Illinois, in her second season with the Eagles. She'll get the ball in the corner, swings it to Pyro, deflected by Hastings, last touch by Pyro, and it's going the other way. Hastings, someone you alluded to in the pregame show, 0 of 3 right now. No points, but the 3 shots, that's something that we don't see out of someone that's so heavily involved in this offense.
Yeah, it's surprising to see. As you said, she had 29 points in the game this season, and it's all credit to the Eagles defense. One of the biggest things that you need to do on defense is take away one of your best players, and Tara is one of our best players, and they've done a great job at limiting her opportunities and her ability to play make.
Foul called on Charisma Robinson. The defense for the Benedictine Eagles is ranked 3rd in the NAC, only allowing their opponents 53 points a game. Cougars are ranked 8th as 64 points a game for the opposing team. Throwing the ball in now is Brittany Pitzer, who finds it over to Hannah Pyro. 6:26 left in the third quarter. The Eagles are dominating the game 53-25. As in the quarter there is Gibbler, and her shot's wide. Rebound there by Pitzer, finding Alex Fanning, and she's coming up now. She has 10 points.
That was a gorgeous feed by Pitzer.
Madeline McGrath in for the Cougars as she swings it back into Megan Long, who went down with that ankle injury earlier in the first half. It's nice to see her back in. Jaylene Wade drives it. Long, 3. Just off the mark. It's crystal core, and Fanning wrestled it, but Fanning got the best of it. Michalski up. Avoids the charge from Long and floats it in.
That's a nice little touch over top there. I love. Oh, good pass.
Core gets the layup there as she now pulls ahead as the leading scorer for the Cougars with 10. Pitzer into Michalski. Michalski's shot's just off the mark. Madeline McGrath gets the rebound. McGrath pushing tempo here, finds Hastings in the corner. Hastings driving baseline, swings it to Wade. Wade, a 3. No good, hits front iron. As Michalski will get the ball and brings it over the half-court line.
You'd like to see the Cougars hit a little more threes. They're 1 for 10 from the three-point line. I feel as if they were to hit some kind of three, it would open up the middle to be able to let a Charisma Robinson or a Crystal Core go to work down low.
Swinging it over to the high post. Now over to the top is Pyro. Pyro misses the three, and Jaylene Wade grabs the rebound. Madeline McGrath now drives baseline again. Hastings for three, and there's her first basket of the night as the freshman hits a three.
Hopefully that gets her going. Usually it takes one to get into a rhythm, so let's see if that gets her going.
Claire Gibbler able to split the defense, floats it in over long, but a charge is called.
Smart play, way to draw the charge.
You see the Cougar bench is excited after that one, and Megan Long too, as that's a huge play there. And checking in now for Tara Hastings is Sarah Ludwig. In for Michalski and Gibbler are Reggie Much and Alicia Dorio.
And with Michalski returning to the bench in the first half, when she returned to the bench, we were able to go on a little bit of a run and claw our way back into the game. Hopefully we could do the same here.
Now you see Jaylene Wade's able to mishandle the ball and get it back. Madeline McGrath gets across from a screen from Core, looking for the pick and roll. Is not going to happen. Sarah Ludwig gets the ball, crosses over. 8 on the shot clock. Core posting down, but Fanning rejects it with the double hand slam. Core gets it back. No good.
That's the story of the game right there. Not able to execute on layups.
And a foul is called on Jaylene Wade as the Cougars are now 1 of 6 from behind the the 3-point line in their last 6 attempts. And Jaylene Wade now covering Brown. Brown gets the ball screen from Fanning, who kicks it out to Much. Deflected by McGrath, but a foul is called. And the Cougars are in shock.
Got to close out with your hands up. Can't go in and hip check like that.
So going to the line now is number 31, Reggie Much. Much, a 71% free throw shooter on the season. Knocks down the first. She now has 6 points on the night.
It's another thing that the Cougars need to start working into as well. They only have two attempts from the free throw line. They haven't been able to get inside, get those free throw attempts either. That's one of the biggest things that can make or break a game is free throws, and they have not seen the line at all.
Cougars only have 2 free throw attempts on the night. Both and the shot is off. Both of those free throws came in the first quarter by Bailey Steinkamp. And checking in for the Eagles now is number 22, freshman Brianna Lake out of Loves Park, Illinois, as Core shots off. Ludwig gets the rebound, and she's going to the free throw line.
It's a good rebound. Way to work yourself inside and get yourself to the line, as we alluded to.
Foul is called on number 31, Reggie Much, her second, team's second. Sarah Ludwig goes to the line. She's a 70% free throw shooter. Misses long and hits back iron. Second attempt underway here. She makes it.
Still got about 13 minutes left in this game. The Cougars definitely need to lock it down, continue to lock down on defense. As you see the press here, and just start to claw away at the lead here with both of their best players sitting out. Definitely got to make some ground here.
So at the top of the now is Elisa Dorio, who gets the shot, fakes it, driving in, loses the handle, and a double dribble is called. That is the 16th turnover, 15th turnover of the night for the Eagles, as the Cougars have 12. But the rebound margin is where the difference in this game is, as the Eagles have been dominating the board with 31 rebounds to the Cougars 17. McGrath chucks up a three. misses left. Rebound by Core. Corrals it. Throws it up just off the mark. And rebounded there by Morgan Curry.
Coach
Brown.
surprised to get a non-call here.
3 chucked up by Brianna Lake is just a little bit too wide. As Madeline McGrath tosses up to Megan Long. Long up. Fouled and one. Megan Long from the pass from Madeline McGrath, and she's going to the line now for the potential 3-point play.
Way to go up strong, not to be able to let the defender come in and swipe the ball away at the last moment. Good, strong finish there by Megan Long.
Long now has 5 points on the night. And she sinks the free throw. Checking in for the Eagles is number 5, Hannah Pyro. For 21, Brittany Pitzer. Much runs baseline, is able to find Pyro. And there's a offensive foul as she just got a little bit too much of the arm there. Now the refs convene and looking to talk about this. Adam, from your point of view, was that the right call?
I do believe it was the right call. I feel like it was a little bit of a push-off, but.
So it looks like a timeout was called before the foul. So there will not be a foul called, but it's a 30-second timeout for the Eagles. Cougar basketball is brought to you in part by Lutheran Public Radio. Listen to sacred music anytime, anywhere at lutheranpublicradio.org or on the LPR app. 59-34 is our score here in Geisman with 2:28 left in the third quarter. Adam, it seems the Cougars were able to get on a little bit run there, but still, they're struggling from shooting.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, they have Michalski and Fanning on the bench, and this is the time to be able to execute and try and get your way into the paint, and that's one of the biggest keys because I would say, 10 shots were missed that were open layups? That's one of the biggest things that needs to be fixed in these final couple of minutes in this third quarter.
So if we're looking at the NAC playoff picture right now, Benedictine's punched its ticket. And they're the number 1 seed, and they already have a share of the conference title. The Cougars sit 9th right now with a record of 7-11 and are out of the playoff hunt. The other teams to have punched their ticket are Edgewood, Wisconsin Lutheran, Concordia, Wisconsin, and Dominican, with Aurora sitting at 6th right now. A 1-game lead over Lakeland will get you the scores around the conference in a bit. As the inbound pass to Pyro gives it back to the inbounder Much, and a travel is called. And the energy on the Cougars bench is starting to pick up.
Yeah, they're definitely fired up after that little mishap or whatever that would be, whether that was a foul or a timeout. Definitely fired up after that.
2:22 left in the third quarter as number 22, Jaylene Wade, brings the ball up. Swings it to Megan Long as she enters it into the post to Core. Core fouled on the way up, and she's going to the free throw line. So like you mentioned, Cougars are starting to find a way to get to the free throw line.
That's exactly what needs to happen. They need to take advantage of Fanning and Michalski not being down there, try and work their way to the line, get some inside looks, and finishing the layups that they've been missing all game.
So Morgan Curry comes out for the Eagles. Entering the game now is Elisa Dorio. As Crystal Coral shoot 2, she hits the first one. In the Cougars, part of the reason why they've struggled in late games is their free throw shooting, but right now they're 5 of 6, so they're sitting pretty. And even though it's a long shot right now, even though the make right there, it's now a 23-point game, it's still something to see as it's one of your last home games. You have one more game later this week against Aurora, but it's nice to see that.
Of course. And it's, as I said in the pregame show, it's all about progression. Definitely finding ways to claw it out, even if the game may not look all that pretty. Just finding a way to fix your individual game. This was a huge test coming into the Cougars, and this is all it was, a test.
A high 3 from Brianna Lake finds its way home as she gets her first points of the night, as McGrath is pushed out of bounds and fouled by Reggie Much. But the two-headed beast that's really been throughout this game has been Alex Fanning, number 2, and number 32, Allison Michalski. the two of them have both received 4-time NAC Weekly Awards this year. And they're definitely going to need them in their playoff hunt as they win, trying to look for a win of the NAC postseason tournament. And the bonus there for McGrath is good.
Yeah, I mean, and you alluded to it, the two-headed monster that they have. But also looking at Hannah Pyro, she's had an incredible game, 11 points, going 2 for 2 from the free throw line. I mean, it helps to have supporting cast next to them.
As that shot is off and rebounded by McGrath. McGrath is pushing tempo. Pyro's season high is 16 points, and that was in the early going in November against Illinois Tech. She has 11 tonight.
Another missed layup, Carter. I mean, I have no explanation for all these missed layups. It's been incredible.
And that was something we saw in their game against Dominican, too, and that's what really set them apart. As Hannah Pyro swings it over to Much. She's fouled, and that's the second time McGrath has committed a foul behind the three-point line. So now Reggie Much is going to the free throw line for 3 attempts.
And Maddie has a lot of energy. She's been pushing the ball up the court, trying to go coast to coast. She's had a lot of energy. You could tell that. And she just got to kind of harness that because, as you mentioned, second time and 1-3. Foul at the three-point line.
Reggie Much makes the first basket. Misses the second one. So looking at the box score, the Eagles, this has been their worst shooting percentage out of the 3 quarters they've played. But 50% is by no means a bad half.
Yeah, I would definitely take 50% over any day.
Cougars' highest came in the second quarter where they went 38%. As Core is fouled, and she's going to the line as Elisa Dorio is guilty of the foul.
I love to see the aggressiveness that Crystal's playing with, getting to the line, trying to fight for rebounds, and just trying to work her way inside.
Core leads the Cougars in all scoring with 12 points. Misses the first attempt. Core is a 70% free throw shooter on the year, as this is her last game in Geisman Gymnasium. Misses the second one. Rebounded, though, almost by Megan Long, and almost ran into our graduate assistant, Danny, on the baseline.
Keep your head on a swivel.
Oh, you always got to be watching. As they go into a trap defense, met by Long in the corner. Pyro swings it over to Much. Much outweighs Wade. And you see up there on the top, Lakes 3. Hits backboard, goes up off top iron, rebounded by Brown. No shot clock now, 20 seconds remain in the quarter. Tara Hastings streaking down the court and makes the layup, and she now has 5 points. 10 seconds remain in the quarter. Mishandled the ball there by Brown. It's out of bounds and going to the Cougars. Cougars making some noise late in this quarter, like they have in the first 2.
Yeah, that's the story. That's been the story of the game. Taking advantage of Michalski and Fanning being on the bench, taking advantage of the late quarter situations, and honestly, it's been easy for the Eagles because of their ball movement. If you look at how they move the ball compared to how the Cougars are moving the ball, that's how they've been getting a lot of their open looks, a lot of their drive-ins and kickouts.
Hastings, step back 3. Yes, ma'am!
Love to see that.
And that's how the quarter will end, on a step back Tara Hastings 3. As she catches fire with 8 points now in the game. But the Cougars are still down by 22 points to the Eagles. Close or far, Chicago Motor Coach has your group transportation needs covered. Chicago Motor Coach is proud to be the official transportation provider of CUC Athletics. We're going to take a break here from Geisman on CSN as we enter fourth quarter basketball. Welcome back into Geisman here as we're ready to start the fourth quarter in the home finale for the 2019-2020 Cougars season. Alongside me is my partner, Adam Gray, and behind the scenes working the amazing broadcast is producer Julia Beers, camera operator Julia Spitelli, Kelly Goody, Grace Miller. Referees tonight are Keena Brown, Matt Hanley, and Michael Jackson, the referee, not the singer.
All right. I think I see a glove out there.
As we start the fourth quarter, it's been all Eagles in this game, as they've been able to control the paint, scoring 32 points, as Hastings, acrobatic attempt at a layup, but missed and rebounded by Pitzer. Swings over to Pyro. Pyro having a good night of 11 points. Finds Michalski, and she gets it in. Michalski now has 20 points on the night.
Steinkamp tried everything she could to try and keep her out of the paint, but that height and strength differential is insane.
The 5'11 junior out of Dundee Crown High School has been wrecking havoc on the Cougars' defense tonight. As she now gets the ball, swings it out to the corner for Claire Gibbler. Gibbler's shot is off the mark, and Jaylene Wade gets it. Wade's been playing a good amount, 20 minutes now for Wade. She has 4 rebounds. She now sits on the free throw line extended. Pulls up, shoots the ball, yes. Nice 15-foot jumper there by Wade.
Now you start to see the full court press start to come into play. Hopefully they get some pressure, get some turnovers, and start to claw back into this thing.
Gibbler passes over to Pitzer, who looks to enter into Michalski, but inside of Fanning. Oh my goodness, a no-look pass from Fanning.
That was.
What a pretty pass that was.
Silver platter, yes.
Patrick Mahomes-like pass from Fanning to Michalski, and that's all fun and games between those two. As Fanning now has 3 assists. Wade knocks down a 3.
Said, hold up now. Hold up now.
Wade catching fire now, 7 points, knocking down her first 3 of the night. Kicks it over. Now we got Pyro. Pyro to Michalski, and giving the favor back was Fanning, but Fanning can't convert. Steinkamp now rushing up the court. She has 8 points of her own, who swings it to Ludwig. And Jaylene Wade backs it out to the 10-foot line by the volleyball court. Wade gets a ball screen from Thornton. Backs it out and gives it to Steinkamp. Crossover, 3 from Steinkamp. Hits back iron and rebounded by Fanning. Picked off, though, by Steinkamp, and they get a fresh 30. Poked away in the back by Michalski, but referee says, nope, you're going to get a foul.
It was a good play by Bailey. Way to read the pass and not let that transition bucket turn into Michalski's 24th point of the game.
Checking in now for the Cougars is number 1, Charisma Robinson, and Crystal Core, number 14. But we've been talking about Michalski all night. She has 22 points. Her season high was 31 points in the 3rd game of the year, and she's just coming off a 22-point performance against Lakeland earlier this last weekend. Crystal Core backs it in and is able to toilet bowl in as she has 14 points for the senior. Robinson a little bit too aggressive there on the pickoff from Michalski. And Robinson will pick up her 2nd personal foul.
Coming into the game, Crystal Core was averaging 5 points a game. So seeing her get 14 in this game definitely shows her want to compete and continue to strive and close out her final home stretch of her career.
Core now with a new season high of 14 points. Her previous was set last week against Dominican on senior night. As you see, an easy layup there was not so easy by Gibbler, but a foul is called on Michalski, and it's going the other way. Michalski picking up her 2nd personal foul, team's 2nd. Seven minutes remain in the fourth quarter here in Geisman in the home finale for the women's basketball team. This is Jaylene Wade. Hands it off to Steinkamp. Steinkamp drives into the lane but pulls it out to Robinson. Robinson wants baseline. Swings it to Wade. Wade, a 3. Off the mark, but a foul is called.
There you go.
And the dangerous Jaylene Wade, as you mentioned too, shooting a lot of threes. She gets rewarded there as a foul is called on Brittany Pitzer.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad to see her work herself into this game. I've liked her since the first couple of games of the season. The way she plays, the ball control, everything that is included in her game as she misses that one. But yeah, she's just the way she commands the court, play makes. She really opens the court up for the Cougars, and she's definitely going to be one of the key pieces coming forth in these next couple of years.
Wade knocks down the second, but if we look at the roster for the Cougars and the freshmen that have made significant impact on the year, Charisma Robinson, Tara Hastings. They also have Bailey Steinkamp, Madeline McGrath, Jaylene Wade. But there is still a lot of talent to be said. Megan Long, a huge part of that. You have Chloe Shopsimo's on the bench, and Kayla Jackson, too.
It was a hard foul by Charisma.
That might be a little bit of an anger foul from Robinson as she picks up her third. With 6:43 left in the fourth. It's now an 18-point Eagle lead. As a corner three is off the mark for Pitzer, but a rebound by Michalski. Rejected by Crystal Core.
Good block.
Hastings a little bit slow to get up on the backside of that play, but she's able to jog it over to the left side as Wade. A foul is called on the drive, and another foul on Brittany Pitzer.
Kind of going back to your point of the underclassmen for the Cougars, they're definitely set up for the future. There's a lot of promise. Steinkamp is a sharp shooter when it comes to the three. Jaylene, we already talked about her, and Charisma Robinson, just having that defensive presence. They're definitely got a great core going forth, and I'm excited to see what they can do for sure. And it's games like this where they face the number one team in the conference that they can truly see how they can match up and how they can grow from this kind of level of competition and see where they want to be.
Hannah Pyro with the rebounds, almost takes it all the way, but dribbles it back out to avoid the Cougar defensive swarm. She'll bring it out and set up a play. She wants a screen up top, directing the Eagles offense, and she'll get a screen. Nope, she won't. Hannah Pyro uses a deflection right there, and Jaylene Wade passes it up to Robinson, who takes it to the left side and whips it over to Hastings on a wild pass. Hastings able to corral it. And a timeout by Coach Lauren Martin. And it looks to be a full timeout. We're going to take a break here, too. 68-50 is our score from Geisman with 5:47 left to play in the fourth. This is Cougar basketball on the Cougar Sports Network. Back inside Geisman Gymnasium is his fourth quarter basketball. Last quarter played here for the women's basketball team in the 2019-2020 season. As we'll give you a little update around the conference as there's 2 games left for all NAC teams, including this one, and the hunt for the NAC tournament. In Aurora, the Spartans are leading the Raiders of MSOE 59-39 late in the fourth quarter. Edgewood's leading CUW 69-46. Dominican is down the street, is leading Marion 63-52. And the Lakeland Muskies are laying a hammer right now on Illinois Tech, 93-44, as Lakeland needs that win. And they also need Aurora to lose on this upcoming Saturday against the Cougars as Aurora holds the 6th spot in the NAC tournament. Robinson banks it in off the backboard. That's her 4th point of the night as the pressure's turned up by the Cougars. Michalski meets Core, and Core swats it away but gets more body than ball, and Michalski's going to line to shoot 2.
I love the energy Crystal is bringing. No matter what the score is, she's been aggressive. She's been on both sides of the ball, been aggressive, pushing the action, and you love to see the effort.
So checking in now for the Cougars is Madeline McGrath as Bailey Steinkamp comes out, and Ashley Brown in for the Eagles as it hits 3 bounces off the brick and goes off. Cougars are on a 9-0 run in the last 3 minutes. Benedictine has not scored since the 8:43 mark on a Michalski layup. As Jaylene Wade has been commanding the offense all night with her ball handling skills. Shows off a behind the back dribble. Shot's a little bit off, and a ball is thrown down there by Fanning.
It's a big rebound.
Pyro clings it over to Fanning. Fanning to Brown, who enters it into the high post for Michalski and lays it up. Rims out, but Fanning's there to corral an offensive rebound. Not once, but twice gets another. How about a third time by Fanning? And finally gets a foul there. Talk about padding their stats right there as Fanning gets 3 offensive boards. And it looks like Charisma Robinson's called with the foul, and she's pleading her case that it wasn't hers. But Robinson now has 4 fouls in this game, and she will leave as it's been a frustrating night for the freshman as she's only 2 of 10 from the field with 4 points, and checking in is Megan Long.
And that series of rebounds puts Fanning at 10 points, 13 rebounds, double-double again tonight, averaging a double-double, as we said earlier, 12 and 12. I mean, she showed why she's one of the premier rebounders in the NAC, for sure.
Second free throw there is good. As Michalski's nearing a double-double as well with 23 points and 9 rebounds. As Wade's elbow jumper is good.
Beautiful screen by Megan Long to set up that jumper.
And a steal by Crystal Core, who controls the ball now, looking for an outlet. Gets a tip back to her, tipped again. And Coach Martin saying slow it down a little bit as Jaylene Wade is facing Ashley Brown. Megan Long swings it over to Hastings for a 3, just off the mark. As Megan Long gets the offensive board, a fresh 20 on the shot clock for the Cougars. As Jaylene Wade, step back, outlet to Megan Long. Contact is made, and her shot is a little bit too much, and she'll go to the line for 2.
And that whole possession was set up once again by Crystal Core's effort, getting the offensive board, getting it to Jaylene so we can get it to Megan to go to the line once again.
Foul is given to Reggie Much. That's her 4th foul of the night. As Long hits the first free throw.
And I know we're being a dead horse here, but I mean 45 rebounds for the Eagles to our 26 for the Cougars. It's been a dominant performance on the boards.
Well, how about this, too, the assists. Eagles have 20 assists, Cougars only 6, so definitely distribution of the ball has been a huge factor as the Eagles lead the conference as well in that department, averaging about 17 a game. But again, Alex Fanning with another layup, and that's 13 points for her. So full timeout for the Cougars. Looking for a place to relax following a big Cougar win? Well, Doc Ryan's on Madison Street has all your post-game needs covered. Score here in Geisman, 72-55 Eagles. We're going to take a quick break here with 3:46 left in the last quarter of basketball from Geisman in the 2019-2020 season. Welcome back inside Geisman Gymnasium. I'm Carter Glydehill. Alongside me, my partner, Adam Gray. I want to take a quick moment and thank the great crew that you're not able to see on camera because they're doing the great work behind the camera. Our producer, Julia Beers, who's also running our Twitter feed. Julia Spitelli and Kelly Goody, our camera operators. under the direction of the man, CJ Sellner, Cougar Sports Network is happy to bring you all your coverage for all Cougars athletics. As Annika Ray in her last quarter of basketball here in Geisman. She's had a really great season for the Cougars coming on, being a senior leader. She's been great, averaging about 6 points a game. You see she got the face mask on because she broke her nose earlier.
Yeah, she's been definitely one of the senior leaders for this team, and it's been great to see her grow through this season even, just continuing to work on her shot and her aggressiveness, and definitely down low, looking like a cool person with that mask on, though. Almost like the masked figure. I love it.
So we've already mentioned that Core surpassed her season high of 10 points she set on Saturday against Dominican. She now has 16. The ball is deflected out of bounds, and the Cougars will get it.
Haverkamp is adamant on that foul call over there.
Steinkamp will take the ball out in front of the Cougar bench. Tara Hastings will receive the pass at the volleyball line. Picks up her dribble and finds Steinkamp, who gives it to Wade. Wade back to Steinkamp, gives it back to Wade. Give a little give and take here between Wade and Steinkamp, who reverses course and finds Core to Hastings at the NCAA logo. It's tipped away out of bounds by Pyro. And 2 subs in for the Eagles now. Number 12, Claire Gibbler, and 21, Brittany Pitts are coming in. As Wade will bring the ball up again. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 shot up. Hits the side and rebound by Fanning. Fanning having a great night as she now has 13 boards. Rebounding machine out of the 6'2" sophomore who went to high school just down the street here in Trinity. And the rebound by Ray.
Local talent, huge. Definitely huge for recruiting.
Ray was going to pop a 3, but has other intentions. Reverses Corson as an underhand shot. But a little bit, 1 step too much, and it's going the other way.
Annika's had a little bit of trouble with that in recent games. A lot of travel calls called on her of recent.
Well, it doesn't help when you have a 6'2" forward standing in the middle of the paint either.
Of course. Every step needs the count there.
Brittany Pitzer gives it to Michalski, who gives it back, and Fanning in the post. No-look pass again. That's something she's been doing a lot tonight. Michalski was thinking 3, says no. 3 seconds in the lane is called on Fanning, and it's going the other way.
She's been real comfortable down there. That's why she's been getting all those 3-second calls, and there's no need to lead the paint when you're so comfortable down there.
Bailey Steinkamp comes into the game for Annika Ray. Madeline McGrath also in the game as well. 2 minutes now left in the fourth quarter in Geisman. And the ball is deflected off by the Eagles. Pyro, and it stays with the Cougars. So, Adam, not the game that you want if you're the Cougars. It's a great test for a young team. But you got to look ahead at the next game here. As you play Aurora coming up on Saturday at Aurora. That's a huge game because you could play spoiler in that game. Right now, the Spartans are winning their game against the Raiders. But if the Cougars were go into Aurora and beat them, and the Muskies would be able to pull out another win, then it would have to go to a tiebreaker.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, it's no surprise that the Cougars have their postseason hopes are gone at this point. So all they can look for is progression and playing that spoiler, as you said. And definitely, especially against Aurora, one of our bigger rivals, there's definitely added incentive to go in there and compete on a higher level.
On a plus side tonight for the Cougars are 14 from 20 from the free throw line, shooting one of their best free throw percentages we've seen in recent games. And a foul on Annika Ray is going to send Michalski to the line.
It'll be real interesting to see how this playoff picture shapes up, too. It's been real exciting between Lakeland and Aurora, just competing back and forth. Lakeland, they had no contest against Illinois Tech tonight, but, going into the next game, they're facing a pretty strong team. So we'll see how they end up doing in the next week or so, and we'll see.
It's been a rough season for the Illinois Tech on the south side of Chicago. They have not won a game and are sitting last in the conference with a record of 0-23.
That's rough.
So they'll be looking to get a win against Rockford, who is 3-21. But Steinkamp now going back to action. Core whips it in. And Core's been the bright spot in the Cougars offense tonight, as she now has 20 points. As the clock is winding down here in Geisman, Jaylene Wade, long baseball pass to Hastings. Hastings, it gets deflected back to her. Is going to shoot a shot, gets a dribble. Steinkamp steps her way in. Core throws it up, and another basket for the senior, who's leaving her mark in Geisman now with 22 points.
You love to see an effort from a senior. Last home game, why not put it all out there?
Tara Hastings gets called for the foul. That's her third. And going to the line now is Brittany Pitzer. Pitzer has 9 points on the night, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. That's a game high. Knocks down the first one to give herself 10 points. 4 Eagles are in double digits tonight. 2 for the Cougars, and those 2 are 2 unlikely people we wouldn't have said at the beginning of the game. And Jaylene Wade, who has 11 points, and Crystal Core, who has 22. Madeline McGrath opens bank up for another 3 from deep. And a timeout by Coach Lauren Martin. 37 seconds left.
Only down 10 here, 30 seconds left.
Cougars have been inching their way back into this game. And there is a chance here for the Cougars to make some late noise. So if you're the Cougars, Adam, what are you drawing up on your whiteboard?
Definitely nothing behind you. They've been getting a lot of fast break points, and especially Michalski. She's been running the court, 25 points in this game. Nothing behind you, but also pressing up, trying to get that turnover to try and give yourself a shot here in the last seconds here.
So Cougars have no timeouts remaining. The Eagles have 2. But it's been a quiet comeback here for the Cougars as they're now down 10 to the number 1 ranked team in the conference, number 3 in the region, Benedictine Eagles. If the Cougars are able to pull off a win here, this is probably going to be marked as the biggest game that they've played.
By far.
We're not going to say anything left because there's 37 seconds left, but there's still some magic that could be made, possibly in Geisman. As we've already seen it tonight, as Crystal Core is having a career night of 22 points. She has 1 rebound and 2 steals and 2 blocks. There's still some talk between the officials. It looks like they're talking about ball placement. But now there's going to be an extended timeout because the Eagles are going to be calling a 30-second timeout.
Smart, advance the ball up the court.
That is a veteran move there by Coach Averkamp, who does not want to see this go away. Now, we mentioned it earlier that the Eagles have a shared of the conference title. But with the win tonight, they would be able to clinch it fully. So with 37 seconds left, the ball is going to be taken out in front of the Benedictine bench because of Coach Averkamp's timeout after Coach Martin's. Eagles have 2 timeouts. Concordia has none. Passes enter the Fanning, tipped out of bounds. And then all the way back to Pyro. Pyro's chased by 2 Cougar defenders who's looking to get out of there. but finds an escape route over there in Gibbler and is fouled on the side. So from now on, the Eagles and the Cougars will be both in the bonus. And the foul is on Megan Long. That's her second. 3 Cougars are entering now. We got Tara Hastings, Madeline McGrath, and Bailey Steinkamp. Looking to provide an offensive spark if the Cougars are able to get the second rebound. Gibbler, an 80% free throw shooter, knocks down the first.
Got to make sure you box out here if she misses.
The lead is now 11 for the Eagles. Cougars need a rebound and need to push tempo fast if they want a shot at the game here. Lead's now 12. Jaylene Wade with 25 seconds left. A 3 up and off the mark. Rebounded and stripped away there by McGrath, but a jump ball is called and the possession arrow is in favor of the Eagles. Checking into the game now is Annika Ray, Megan Long, and Charisma Robinson for defensive purposes as the Cougars are now in a full court press. 12-point lead for the Eagles, 19 seconds left. Inbound pass deflected out of bounds by Megan Long. Another run a couple seconds off the clock. Timeout now by Coach Averkamp, and that's going to be a full timeout. We're going to take a quick break here. 78-66 our score, and Geisman with 17 seconds left to play in the fourth quarter. You're watching Cougar basketball on the Cougar Sports Network. We're back inside Geisman Gymnasium as we're in the closing seconds of the home finale for the women's basketball team. The Cougars were once down 32 points in the third quarter. Since then, they've made 3 of their last 4 field goals and been able to climb back within 12 of the number 1 ranked team in the conference, Benedictine Eagles. Inbound passes off the mark, and Megan Long gets it. 15 seconds left. Cougars are going to have to put up a shot if they want to keep going. And it doesn't look to be that way. As a kickball foul with 10 seconds left. Bailey Steinkamp and Tara Hastings and Madeline McGrath will check in for Charisma Robinson and Megan Long.
You got to get it to Bailey Steinkamp in this situation. 39% from the three-point line. There it is.
Great call. Deflected there by Gibbler, and that's going to do it here in Geisman as the Cougars face a tough task and apply some late pressure to the number 1 team in the conference, Benedictine Eagles, but they're able to escape with the final score being 78-66. The Eagles had a powerful attack early and put the Cougars behind them, and it was the Cougars looking to chase the Eagles all the way as Michalski, the junior forward from Algonquin, had finished the night with 25 points and 11 rebounds and a double-double. Alex Fanning finishes with 13 points and 14 rebounds. And the Cougars depart on their last game of the season on Saturday as they'll travel to Aurora to take on the Spartans. The night for the Cougars was led by the senior Crystal Core with 22 points, and was also led by freshman Jaylene Wade, who was 2 of 3 from the free throw line, 4 of 12 from the field. And a game that saw a lot of struggles early for the Cougars. It was a good fight to the end, Adam.
It was, and I love that Crystal Core put in a lot of that effort. It was 22 points. You love to see the effort from the senior in her last home game. I know Michalski went off for 25, but like I said, Crystal Core had a quiet 22, and you can't ask much more out of her.
So as you can see on your screen now is that the free throw line on the south side, Benedictine parents are starting to flood the court because the Benedictine Eagles have now clinched the number 1 spot and are the sole holders of the NAC regular season champion. Congratulations to them, as they'll look to do some damage in the next week in the NAC tournament. Our final score tonight from Geisman, 78-66 Eagles, as the Cougars drop the final home game of the season This has been Cougar Basketball on the Cougar Sports Network. I'm Carter Gledhill for my partner Adam Gray and our producer Julia Beers, camera operators Julius Vitelli and Kelly Goody, under the direction of CJ Sellner. Good night, Cougar fans.